his parents' drug and alcohol addiction. A story of a boy who grew up and both of his parents experienced different forms of homelessness, whether it was literally being on the streets or just not having permanent housing. A story of a kid who relied heavily on things like welfare and food stamps growing up as a kid and saw that side of life. A story of a kid who lived nearly 20 different places from the time he was born to the time he graduated high school. A story of a kid who got the first ticket the hell out of Fresno that he could with no intention of ever returning home. Story of returning home. Story of redemption, the story of a second chance, the story of a boy who just wanted to do good and to be good and thinks that he finally has the chance to do that. What's most peculiar about my story, however, is that it's not my story. It's our story. It's literally the story of hundreds of thousands of people living in the city of Fresno at this very moment. It has been nearly 30 years since I went through all those issues that I talked about. And for the family struggling in District 4, it really feels like nothing has changed for them. In fact, it seems like a lot of things have gotten worse. I find it very interesting, I'm out there knocking on doors. I've knocked on thousands of doors at this point, and it's always surprising how many people are willing to open up to me about what they're going through after I share my story. There's so many people who will share with me that they themselves or a child is going through an opioid or alcohol addiction, and they don't know what to do. Everybody, and I mean literally everybody, knows somebody that is homeless in Fresno, whether it's a friend, a family member, or acquaintance, and they feel helpless. They share stories with me about how they're a double income family and they can't afford a house in our district, District 4. This is not the Bluffs, this is not Coral Lakes, I'm talking about First and Ashland, and they cannot afford a home. These people in District 4, they've been hurting for a long time, and they are ready for a real change because they know if that change doesn't come, we're bound to repeat the same cycle that I just talked to you guys about for another 4 generations down the road. But when I knock on their door and I talk to them, I tell them, I'm one of you guys. I didn't move into this district to run for city council. I was born and I was raised here. I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars of special interest funds being pumped into my campaign. My parents were not wealthy doctors or attorneys. I've been in your shoes. I've seen the things that you guys have seen. I've experienced a lot of the same struggles, but it's okay because together, and only together, we're going to win this election outright on March 3rd, 2020, and we're going to continue to fight for Fresno's future. Thank you guys all so much for making it happen.